Hello, today I will be reviewing the Ontario Comprehension Assessment. The Ontario Comprehension Assessment, or OCA, is a diagnostic informative reading assessment designed for students in grades 7 to 10. The assessment provides a snapshot of a student's reading comprehension abilities of an informational text. What is interesting about the assessment is that it is aligned with the Ontario grade 7 to 10 curriculum, as well as the Ontario Secondary School Literacy Test. Both the OSSLT and OCA assess literal thinking, inferential thinking, and the student's ability to make connections within a text. The OCA is also connected to Literacy in Action for grade 7 and 8, which allows teachers to provide next steps instruction and provide explicit reading strategies and skills instruction. So how does the OCA work? Educators distribute the test at the beginning of the year to assess for learning, and a second time in the year to assess students as they are learning. The OCA helps teachers plan for comprehension instruction that is tailored to meet the students' needs and ensure they align with curriculum expectations. Here, we see how specific questions in the OCA connect with aspects of reading, skills of proficient readers, and reading tasks. The kit can be purchased by schools or boards, and it includes 2 assessment grades, an informational text, a teacher guide, including student response sheets, answer keys, and assessment summary sheets to record data, as well as student exemplars, both high and low, and a student success kit. So how do educators actually implement the assessment? Before giving the assessment, teachers should plan for a 60-minute block of time at the beginning of the year. Remember, this is designed to provide a snapshot of the student's ability. The test is to be administered to the whole class. Teachers should make sure they ask students to answer question 1 before reading, and then students can begin. Once the assessment has begun, students answer questions independently. It is appropriate to allow extra time for students who need it. I do want to note, students who normally receive accommodations or modifications in assessment should continue to do so in the OCA. Here's an example of what the assessment looks like. Students are required to set a purpose, ask questions, and predict before reading the passage. They are provided with a rubric themselves to see expectations. When students have completed the assessment, teachers can work in pairs or teams to moderate assessments and share instructional strategies to respond to the results. As I mentioned, teachers can accommodate their students during this assessment. The OCA kit itself contains passages as low as a grade 4 reading level. The assessment can also be scribed, used with assistive technology like a text-to-speech program, administered orally, completed in an alternative setting, or completed in stages. Of course, one of the most important elements of this assessment is recording the data. The OCA makes it very easy and straightforward for educators by providing rubrics based on the Ontario curriculum, as well as class profile columns based on reading strategies. Because teachers are using a rubric, which can be subjective, teachers may be required to use their professional judgment to determine level of achievement. As I mentioned, the kit provides a template for teachers to record and to segregate the data, like this one here. The kit also allows teachers to summarize the data, tracking areas of strength, areas that deserve further attention, and areas that require immediate attention. Now that we know how to administer the test, why is this assessment important? Looking to researchers in this field, we can see that when an assessment is delivered well and is conducive to student learning, it enables teachers to draw accurate inferences about individual student achievement, communicate that information to students and parents, and focus further instruction. And the assessment of literacy in particular contributes to students' learning and improvements in an educator's practice. The OCA actually provides 2 types of assessment, diagnostic and formative. The OCA allows educators and students to determine current level and set goals to close the gap in their learning through intervention. So let's look at specific types of intervention we can provide at this level, that being grades 7 to 10. We can consider applying a response to intervention or RTI model at this level, but must remember it will look very different compared to the elementary model. The main reason being, at this stage, academic deficits are already well established. We are no longer screening for potential deficits. We know where they may be, and the OCA allows for accommodations. As I mentioned before, students struggling with written output may use assistive technology, but more than that, there are many obstacles to intervention in middle and high school. Things like graduation requirements, instructional organization, school culture, focus, staff roles, and determining students' involvement in the implementation of RTI are among the largest factors complicating management of a tiered instructional framework. With this in mind, and using the OCA data, educators can quickly identify areas of weakness and recommend immediate intervention. As outlined in the research, functional tutoring groups or one-on-one tutoring sessions have been able to provide greater opportunity for responding, more meaningful corrective feedback, and a greater emphasis on needs with smaller instructional groups. In summary, how does the Ontario Comprehension Assessment benefit students? First off, it provides two types of assessment, both diagnostic and formative. The kit provides educators with very straightforward resources, examples, rubrics, and data charts. It also helps educators summarize and address areas of weakness. It is aligned with the Ontario curriculum by setting reading expectations and allowing teachers to intervene in specific areas of weakness. And of course, it allows for modification, that being setting, time requirements, assistive technology, etc. The largest area of weakness with the OCA is the assessment format. The assessment has students plan for questions that the reading passage may address. However, we can see from research in this area that question answering may be inappropriate for adolescents with substantial knowledge and vocabulary deficits. So while the OCA focuses on strategy use in question answering to create a snapshot of reading comprehension, the results may be skewed if a student has substantial knowledge and vocabulary deficits. Overall, I personally really like the Ontario Comprehension Assessment because it provides both diagnostic and formative data. It establishes student reading comprehension by identifying struggling readers and allowing educators to plan lessons and resources that are linked with the Ontario curriculum expectations. It also provides intervention at the intermediate and senior level, that being more immediate and direct than elementary. It also makes use of small groupings and tutorings that have proven effective to close the gap. Thank you very much for taking the time to learn about the implementation and benefits of the Ontario Comprehension Assessment.